That invoice on your dashboard, fuel induction service, throttle body cleaning, full tune-up, $800. Every part that covers most of that is sitting on a shelf at any auto parts store right now. Total cost, about $40. I want to show you exactly what those parts are. You know that rough idle that wasn't there a year ago, or when you press the gas and the car takes a second to respond, or your mileage has quietly dropped and you can't figure out why. Here's what's happening. Carbon builds up on your fuel injectors over time. It's just what engines do. The injector tip gets coated, the fuel doesn't spray cleanly, the engine runs rough. A dealership calls that a fuel injection service. Average price, $174. At some dealers, up to $360. What actually happens is someone pours a bottle of cleaner into your gas tank. 45 seconds of work. That bottle is $6. Chevron, Techron, Lucas, BG44K. Pour one into your tank before your next fill-up. The cleaner runs through with the fuel, dissolves the carbon off the injectors, and the rough idle goes with it. Do it every 10,000 miles. You will never need that service. The reason this isn't on the service advisor's suggestion list is pretty simple. There is no margin in a $6 bottle. The air filter shows up on every mechanic's inspection sheet, every single time, because it's easy to pull out, hold up in front of you, and say it needs replacing. And it does. Eventually, a dirty filter chokes the airflow into the engine. Your mileage drops. Sometimes the check engine light comes on. All of that is real. What the inspection sheet doesn't mention is that swapping it takes 2 minutes. You open a plastic box, 2 clips, no tools. Pull the old one out. Drop the new one in. Close it. At a shop that's $40 to $80. The filter is $10 to $12. Hold yours up to a light. If you can't see through it, replace it. That's the entire test. This is the part most people have never heard of. And it causes problems that feel like they're coming from somewhere expensive. The PCV valve is about the size of your thumb. It sits on top of the engine and it manages the pressure inside the crankcase by sending gases back in to be burned off. When it goes bad, you get a rough idle, oil leaks that appear from nowhere, sometimes smoke from the exhaust. It looks serious because you don't know what's causing it. A mechanic charges $100 to $200 for that. The part is $4 to $8. On most cars, you pull the old one straight out of its rubber holder and push the new one in. 30 seconds. It's on top of the engine almost every time. If your car has developed a rough idle or an oil leak that came from nowhere, this is the first thing worth $4 to check. Spark plugs fire thousands of times a minute every time the engine runs. Over time, the tip wears down. The gap opens up, and the spark gets weak. Misfires start, the car hesitates. Starting gets rough. Fuel economy drops. These are real symptoms, and they send people to the shop for a diagnostic before anyone has even looked at a part. A dealership charges between $150 and $300 for a spark plug service. The plugs are $4 to $8 each. You need a spark plug socket, $12, and a ratchet. Pull the old plug, drop the new one in, tighten it. 30 minutes on a 4-cylinder the first time, 15 every time after. Your owner's manual tells you when they actually need replacing. Most manufacturers say somewhere between 30 and 100,000 miles. That's free information that tells you whether you need this done right now or not for another 40,000 miles. That black ring coating the inside of the throttle body, that's carbon buildup. The throttle body is the valve that controls how much air goes into the engine. When the edges get coated like that, the airflow gets disrupted. You get a rough idle hesitation when you accelerate, sometimes stalling at low speed. A shop charges $150 to $200 for a throttle body service. A can of throttle body cleaner is $5. You take off the air intake hose, spray the cleaner inside, wipe it out with a rag, put the hose back on. 7 minutes. The idle clears up. That's the same result for $5 that a shop produces for $175. All 5 of these together, somewhere around $40 to $60 depending on your car. One dealer visit for the same 5 services on a regular sedan, $800 or more. And here's the part that keeps sitting with me. None of these jobs need a lift. None of them need training. The gap between $800 and $50 is just knowing what the parts are called and what they actually do. You know that now. If you watched the last video on reading your check engine light with a $22 scanner, these 5 parts are where most of those codes point back to. You know what the code says, now you know what to do about it. Links to everything are in the description. I don't know what brought you here. Maybe something's been off with your car for a while, and you're tired of not knowing why. Maybe you just like understanding how things work. Doesn't matter. Now you know. Take care and see you in the next one.